Okay. Hare Krishna. Can you all hear me?
Yes, Prabhu, I can hear you.
Okay. Yes. Okay. We'll start with prayers. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashat Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Jagat Guru Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitya Premanande Hare Hare Bol. Okay. Do you all remember till where did I pause in the last class?
I think what was his name? Vishwamitra. He took Ram and Lakshman somewhere, and then there was this big demon lady whom he finally killed. Something like that. I remember.
Correct. Yeah. So we discussed till Tataka Vadha. So the killing of the demon Tataka. So she was a demon, and Rama and Lakshmana, they both, with the knowledge imparted by Vishwamitra Muni, they killed the demon. Okay. So by this time it became dark, and Rama and Lakshmana, they took rest and slept for that night in the presence of Vishwamitra Muni. In the morning, they woke up, they performed their morning duties, and then they proceeded further. At that time, right, in the morning, all the demigods appeared to Vishwamitra, and they said, "Oh, my dear sage, Bhrishashu gave all his astra and knowledge to you." There was a Muni, his name is Bhrishashu. He gave all his astra, weapons related mantra. See, there is two things. One is astra and another is shastra. So shastra are weapons, like physical weapons. A sword, a bow and arrow, a mace, a gada, a chakra. All these are physical weapons, are called shastra. Astra means it is a mantra. You have to invoke a mantra into anything, or you may recall that, like chant that mantra, immediately a weapon will manifest. Suppose you take a small grass and you invoke that mantra, and that grass will act as a Brahmastra itself. That's why it's called Brahmastra. Brahmastra is like a nuclear weapon. So that small grass will act as a nuclear weapon. So that's called astra. Astras are mantra. They invoke mantra into anything. It can be any particle, or they can just recite that mantra in their mind, and that particular weapon will appear. So the demigods are telling to Vishwamitra Muni that Brishasu, he gave all the different weapons, astras, and the knowledge to you. And right now, Lord Rama and Lakshmana, they don't have much time, or they don't have many of the astras and shastras now. Whatever they had, they have utilized it in killing Tataka. So whatever you know about the military weapons, please give it to him. It will be of much use if Rama and Lakshmana, they know them. And wherever you go, Rama is going to follow you. And he's very qualified one, because he's serving a guru like you very faithfully and obediently. So after they disappeared, actually, they appeared around in the midnight that time itself, and Rama and Lakshmana were asleep. So next day in the morning, when Vishwamitra Muni and they all woke up, they did their morning sadhana. Afterwards, Vishwamitra calls Rama and said, "Oh, my dear Rama, I want to give you all the wealth of knowledge on weaponry to you, whatever I have. So please sit and I'll initiate you with each of the mantra for each weapon. And using these astras and shastras, you can control, you can dominate, you can subdue great demigods. Not only demigods, even demons, Gandharvas, Uragas, celestial beings, and even earthly beings. You can control all of them. Dandachakram Mahadivyam Tavadasyami Raghava Dharmachakram Tatovira Kalachakram Tathaivacha Vishnuchakram Tathyayu Gramendram Chakram Tathaivacha Vajramastram Narasreshta Shaivam Shulavaram Tatha Astram Brahmashiraschaiva Eshi Kamapi Raghava Dadami Te Mahabaho Brahmastram. So the astras, the various astras and shastras, those names are mentioned here. Tanda Chakram, Dharma Chakram, Kala Chakram, Vishnu Chakram, Indra Chakram. These are all Indra's, disc. Then Vajrayudham. Indra has that, a kind of a missile. Then Shaivam, that weapon related to Shiva. Shulavaram, it is the trident that Lord Shiva has, Shula. Then Brahma Shiraha, so it is Brahma's crest, like it's a jewel of Brahma, and from that there is a missile, a weapon. Brahma Shiraha. Aishikam, grass blade, a missile that can be invoked into a blade of grass, and it will act as a missile. Ati Ugram. Ugram itself is very ferocious. And Ati Ugram is highly ferocious missile. And Brahmastrameva. Then Brahmastra also. Then there are two maces that were given. It's called Modaki and Shikhari. And he gave 3 nooses called Dharma Pasha, Kala Pasha, and Varuna Pasha. So Pasha is like a noose, that Yamadharmaraja uses to catch hold of the souls and take them back to his kingdom for punishment. That is it's a kind of a noose. Whenever a person is given a capital punishment for hanged until death, so it's a noose, right? Like that. So there's a Dharma Pasha, Kala Pasha, and Varuna Pasha. And there was many other missiles that were given, Varunastra. There were 2 projectile bolts, one called Shushka, other called Ardra. And there were missiles like Pinaka, Narayana, and Shikhari. Prathama. Prathama is the missile of Varuna Deva. And there's a missile of air god also, the demigod for air, Vayudev. Then there were 2 missiles called Hayashira, Krauncha, and there were 2 impellers. Impellers is like a rotating device, which are like underneath the boat and underneath the ship. There will be 2 impellers, right, that rotates in the water so that the ship proceeds like that. And one had a power of Vishnu, and the other had a power of Rudra. And their weapons are wielded by demons. They're namely like Kankalam, rods like Kapalam and Kankanam. And there were many other great missiles that they were given. So there is entire, at least 20 to 30 verses are there on which the names are mentioned. Kankalam, Kapalam, Kankanam. I'll just name them because they're in the Valmiki Ramayana. Okay, Vaidyadhara, Nandana, Mohana, Paraswapana. Praswapana. Praswapana is the is a weapon when astra, when you release it, the opposite person will go into sleep. Mohana is the the opposite person will become illusioned. Then prashamana. Prashamana is which will pacify the enemies from being very from like anger or in a hostile mood. If they are there, it will pacify them. Then varshana, which will rain. Shoshana, that will drain. Santapana, which will humidify. Vilapana, like crying. It will induce crying in the opposite party. Then Manmatha, Manmatha and Mohana, they're very intoxicated. Then there was a missile by Gandharva. Then there were missiles that were very dear to Pishachas, monsters, namely Paishacha. Then Tamasa, Saumana, Samvarta, Mausala, Satya, Maya, Maya. Then there was a solar missile, Teja Prabha. Then there was a demigod of moon, Chandra, he gave Shishira. Then there was a deadly missile which was called as Twasta, Sudama, and dangerous missiles of Bhaga, that is Shita Ishu. Then there was missiles of Manu. So Rama receives all kinds of various astras and shastras. Varshanam Shoshanam Chaiva Santapana Vilapane Madanam Chaiva Durdhasham Kandarpatayitam Tatha Gandharvam Astram Dayitam Manavam Nama Namadaha Paishacham Astram Dayitam Mohanam Nama Namadaha Praticha Narshardula Rajaputra Mahashayaha. So Vishwamitra, he gave all this weapons which I just chanted, and he imparted all the knowledge that he has, whatever knowledge, complete knowledge, he has imparted to Lord Sri Ram. And such astras can kill millions of people. And he gave this knowledge to Rama. See, there is one thing that is like you invoke certain weapon, and then you should also know how to withdraw them. You should know how to withdraw those energies. Suppose in anger you released something, but you should also have that energy to withdraw. But in today's world now, if a missile is released from what is that called? Canyon, I think. Canyon, yeah. If a missile is released, now it cannot be retrieved back. It cannot be withdrawn. But these astras and shastras, once released, they can also be withdrawn. And to withdraw them, there are again different mantras. So all of those have been imparted to Lord Rama. And all the demigods related to these astras were in control of Lord Rama, and they appeared around Ram. So there is a personification for everything. Behind every energy, there is a person. Okay, so the personified people of each astra, of each demigod, they appeared around Rama and asked, "My dear Rama, what shall we do?" And Rama said, "All of you enter into the form of remembrance." 1 minute. Okay, so he said, all of you enter into into the form of a remembrance. So based on the situation, I will chant your mantra, and then that weapon can be put into use. So if Lord Rama knows, automatically Lakshmana also learned them. So after learning all different mantras for each of the weapons and their withdrawal mantras, now Rama and Lakshmana with Vishwamitra, they proceed towards Vishwamitra Muni's ashram. So as they were nearing the ashrama, Ramachandra, he saw very thick cloud, a cloud-like formation on the side of a mountain, a very thick cloud. And that cloud was shining. And Rama could easily understand that it is not just any kind of a cloud. That cloud was actually formed by the smoke of the yajna performances. So whenever the sacrifice fire is started, when the whole yajna process is done, there will be huge fire. So out of that, there is a smoke which formed like a cloud on the side of a mountain. So Rama saw that. He saw, oh, that means from wherever that smoke is coming, that looks like a very auspicious place. And there were many animals that could be seen, chirping of birds, everything. They were all very pleasing. The birds, every living entity around that, wherever that smoke, all those, they were very happy. And it was a happy surroundings. So Rama said, no, my dear Guru Maharaj, I understand by the pleasant and happy surroundings here, it looks like we have come out of the Tataka's forest. Because wherever the demons are there, wherever they're inhabitant, we just, in the last session, we talked about that there was a smell, bad smell. There were insects, carnivorous animals, carnivorous insects also, which induce poison and which can kill. You see, you have living entities in different modes of nature. Sattva-guna, which are mode of goodness, Rajoguna, which are mode of passion, and Tamoguna, which are mode of ignorance. So Prabhupada used to say, suppose you take one crow and a swan. Okay, you take these two birds which are caged, and then there was a nice park. Suppose in New York there is a Central Park is there. Okay, imagine, so there's a very nice park, and obviously if there is a park, there'll be things around for people to sit, people to play. If they have to go, if they eat anywhere, then there'll be trash cans. So all these things will be there. Now, if a crow and a swan is released into that park, okay, and imagine they don't fly away outside of the park because the park is so huge. So can you all tell me, where will the crow go and where will the swan go? Any one of you?
I think maybe crow will go where there's garbage and leftover food and stuff. And I don't know, swan maybe will go in the lake or in the water area.
Exactly. You're right, Mataji. So the swan will go to that place where there are clear waters. There is a mode of goodness. That's why it's called Hamsa. And in any great realized person is also called as Paramahamsa. So the swan differentiates. No, this is not the right place. So if there is a dirtiness, if there is no clear, if there is muddy, or the swan does not stay there. Wherever there are crystal clear waters, very serene atmosphere, the swan takes the shelter of such places. Whereas the crows, how much ever beautiful the area around might be, it will only goes to the garbage. So there are all kinds of living entities. Now, in the Tataka's forest, these kind of ferocious animals were found. And even plants also, there are Tamoguna plants, they were also found. Now, what do you mean with Tamoguna plant? So those plants which eat non-veg. Now, are there any plants? Yes. In US, you will see in the Walmart, or you will see a fly trap. Fly traps. So those are there. Now, there are many poisonous plants. All of them come under Tamoguna plants. All such things were found in Tataka's forest. But when Rama came to this, when they crossed that, when he saw that, okay, the trees are very Sattvaguna trees. Sattvaguna trees are like mango, divine trees, mango, banyan, people, neem. The best of the best is fig tree. Even Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita, the fig tree is the best of all the trees. And that is why there is a deity in Kanchipuram which is made out of the fig tree. It is called Varadaraja Swami. So, and that fig bark was not from this world. It was brought from some other planet. It was so huge, and from that the deity was carved. So when he came to this place, he saw all these mode of goodness plants, mode of goodness birds. Birds were all by nature, they were very happy, and surroundings were very happy. So Rama said, I understand that we came out of that forest. But my dear Guru Maharaj, could you please tell me whose hermitage is this? Whose ashram? Even from we are so far away, we could see that ashram is glowing with effulgence. And as they were approaching, they reached that hermitage of Vishwamitra. So Vishwamitra says that this hermitage, this ashram is very dear to me. And he gives the reason. See, wherever this entire Balakanda, there are so many sub-stories. Rama would ask question and Vishwamitra would explain in detail. So he says, once Bali Maharaj, who was a son of Virochana, who is and Virochana is the son of Prahlad Maharaj. Okay. So during the time of Bali Maharaj, and he was a king of all Asuras, all the Rakshasas. So that Bali Maharaj, he defeated Indra. And he taken over the Swargalok, the heaven. So all the demigods became homeless. So the mother of the demigods, that is Aditi, was in deep sorrow. So Kashyapa Muni, who is the son of Marichi Muni, he is the husband of Aditi. So from Aditi and Kashyapa, all demigods were born. And from the same father and a different mother, from Kashyapa Muni and Diti, all demons were born. Okay, so later it will come. You see, although the father was the same, it depends on the father was a great sage. Okay, but based on the qualities of their mothers, the sons were born. So both Kashyapa and Aditi, they did great austerity to Lord Vishnu at this place. That means this is the ashrama where both Kashyapa Muni and Aditi, they performed tapasya. So Lord Vishnu was very pleased with their austerity, and he appeared to them and asked them what boon they want. So they asked that the Lord to be born as their son and help Indra to get back his position. Okay, one moment. I hope this is live streaming. Yeah. It is. Okay. So Lord Vishnu appeared in front of them and asked them what boon they want. So they asked that the Lord to be born as their son and help Indra to get back his position. So since our austerities are accomplished here in this ashrama and by your grace, so it should be called as a Siddhashrama. Siddha means any accomplishment, or achievement. That is called Siddha. So Siddha Ashrama means it's a hermitage of achievement. And you please arise and please take birth, be born in this ashrama to become our son. So the Lord appeared as the son of Aditi and Kashyapa from this ashrama. And he appeared in the form of a dwarf or a brahmachari, small boy, 4 years, 5 years boy. And as soon as he was born, he came to this immediately to this age of brahmacharya, and then his sacred thread ceremony, Upanayana, was performed, and he went out for bhiksha, taking alms from the citizens. At that time, Bali Maharaj was giving lot of wealth as charity, because he's Prahlad Maharaj's grandson, and he was a great devotee. The Vamana, Vamana Dev, whose Vamana means basically brahmachari. So Vishnu appeared as Vamana Dev. He came to Bali Maharaj's place for some bhiksha. Bhiksha is for alms, taking some food. So as per Vamana Dev's request, Bali Maharaj promised that he will give 3 foot land. Then Vamana Dev expanded himself, and he measured with 1 foot, he measured the entire earth. But in the other foot, when he asked, where should I keep the second foot? Bali Maharaj said, because he has won all the upper planetary systems, lower planetary systems. So he said, all the other planetary systems I would give. Then Vamanadev, he covered the other foot with the remaining planetary systems, and there was nothing left. At this time, Bali Maharaj realized, and he surrendered to the Lord. And he requested, when the Vamanadev asked where to keep the 3rd foot, Bali Maharaj said, I'm surrendering into you. You please keep your 3rd foot on my head. So Lord Vamanadev, he placed his feet on Bali Maharaj's head and pressed him down to Patala Loka, the lowermost planetary system. And then Vamanadev donated everything to Indra, his elder brother. And thus, Vamanadev, he made the 3 worlds to come under the control of Indra again. Okay, so later in Bhagavatam it is said, like when Vamanadev, when he pressed Bali Maharaj is one of the, his surrenderance, full surrenderance he has done. So Navavidha Bhakti, there are 9 types of devotional service we say. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnoho Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Mandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atma Nivedanam. Prahlad Maharaj says this, that these are the 9 types of devotional services. The last one is Atma Nivedanam, and Bali Maharaj is the epitome for that quality. So when he pressed, he did not kill him. He made the ruler of the Patala Lok, and Vamanadev said, I personally will stay as your security guard. See, that was a mercy he has shown. Okay, this is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so coming back, so when Vamanadev had pressed, when he has eliminated Bali Maharaj from that place, he lived in this ashram for a very long time. He performed all the duties that a brahmachari should do in this place, in this ashrama. And this ashrama has power to eradicate your stress, your strain, everything. So Vishwamitra Muni is saying this to Ram. It can even eliminate the stress of going through the cycle of birth and death. Therefore, it can bestow liberation, moksha. Okay, to whom then? Only to a person who is sincerely practicing devotional service in this place. And Vishwamitra Muni, he personally says that he is very much benefited from this hermitage as well. So I love this place, and I like to perform the yajna in this place. So my dear Rama, this ashrama, it belongs to you also. As much as it belongs to me, it belongs to you also. So the inner meaning is, in your previous avatara, this ashrama was yours. It belonged to you. But outwardly, he was saying that as much as it belongs to me, it actually belongs to you. So now Vishwamitra Muni, Rama Lakshmana, they enter the ashrama. On seeing their arrival, the residents of that ashrama, they became very happy. And they hurried to receive them. And the sages, they all offered their hospitality to Vishwamitra Muni and the princess Rama and Lakshmana. So after taking some brief rest, Vishwamitra Muni, he instructs Rama that, my dear Rama, I'm going to start the sacrifice. And he tells the entire thing, what will happen in this. So he says that I'll start the sacrifice now, but if the demons appeared, then you should kill them immediately. Just saying like this, Vishwamitra Muni goes immediately into Mauna Vrata, or silence, and he starts the sacrifice. So when you start a sacrifice, these are all the different vows that you have to take. You have to go into silence. You cannot speak. Your full attention and concentration should be on the various mantras and in the ritual process of the yajna. So Rama asked the other sages inside the ashrama that when will the sacrifice start, and for how long will this be performed? When should I be ready for the fight? He asked all this, and sages replied that, Rama, this is going to start right after some time. It's going to start maybe in few minutes, and this will take place for 7 days and 7 nights. Continuously. These demons, they can appear from anywhere, from top, from side, from below the earth, anywhere. So you need to be awake and very vigilant for 7 days and 7 nights. And should be ready to shoot the arrows at them. Now, how Rama and Lakshmana can be awake for 7 days and nights? They are just kids, right? They have not even finished their school. The Sharad Maharaj says that Nahi Shodasha Varsho mein, they are not even 16 years old. Right? But how can they be awake? Because, yeah.
Yeah, because you mentioned, right, in the earlier class that Vishwamitra gave them this boon that they can have as much energy as much
Correct.
they want. Yeah.
Yeah. Those boons are Bala and Ati Bala. Okay, these are the two knowledges that was imparted to Lord Rama and Lakshmana. With Bala, they can be awake, or Ati Bala actually. They can be awake for as many nights as they want, and with Bala, they will not be tired at all. They will be very strong. Bala and Ati Bala. And so they started the sacrifice. And Rama and Lakshmana, day by day, he's very vigilant. Like minute by minute, he's looking when they're going to appear. And when did Maricha and Subahu, these are the two demons who wanted to disrupt this yajna, when did they come? They came on the 6th day. Because they thought, Rama and Lakshmana, they are just kids. They will be tired and will not be very attentive, so that they could take this as an advantage, and they could pour blood and urine and stool all over the fire sacrifice. So Rama and Lakshmana, they were very attentively looking for any disturbances. Now, when these demons were approaching, there was a sign in the yajna. See, when the yajna was being performed, the Brahmanas were pouring the ghee into the fire. Immediately, the fire at once blew up. Suddenly, it blew up, and then it became very normal. So the fire flared very high and became normal. So it means that there is a danger, upcoming danger that will be coming. So the sages, they all said, see this, be very careful, Rama. They'll be here anytime. So when this happened at that time, Maricha and Subahu, along with their followers, not just two of them, along with their followers, they came flying and they were pouring blood into Homakunda. And Rama told to Lakshmana, Lakshmana, you see, he's Maricha. I'm not going to kill him. I'll just injure him with a weapon that makes him unconscious and will throw him 100 yojanas away. That is 800 miles away or 1200 kilometers away. So immediately he was hit by a weapon and he fell 800 miles away in the ocean. And that ocean was with high tides. Then Rama employed Agneya Astram and he hit the chest of Subahu and he killed him. And Rama, he killed all the remaining demons with Vayuvya Astra. The weapon given by Varunadev, Vayu, the demigod of wind. So all the demons, everyone were killed at once except Maricha. He was hit and he was fallen unconscious. So when this happened, all the sages, they became very happy. And Yajna was completed successfully. So Vishwamitra Muni, his guru, he became extremely pleased with their service and he called for Rama and Lakshmana. So both the boys, they came to Vishwamitra Muni. They paid their obeisances to him and said, my dear Guru Maharaj, please consider as your servants. And it's all by your mercy that it happened. So Vishwamitra Muni became even more pleased. See, this is the Shraddha that, or the faith that one must have to his Guru. They didn't come to Vishwamitra Muni and said, oh Guru Maharaj, have you seen? I have hit all of them. I've killed all of them. Have you seen my power? They didn't come with that attitude. They came very humbly to him, to the Guru. And they said, all this is because of you. You have imparted this knowledge and we have tried to use it. So that is why we always say that it is a mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Whatever the knowledge I have, the understanding that I have was by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Without Guru, we are nobody. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he himself says that you must be like a fool in front of your Guru. Now, what kind of a Guru? A bona fide Guru, bona fide representative of Supreme Lord, bona fide Acharya. Because if you act like a fool in front of a not bona fide Guru, he'll take advantage of you, he'll misuse, he'll abuse the relationship. So that Guru must be bona fide, authorized. And one must know how to identify a bona fide Guru. And as I mentioned in previous classes, that there are 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas: Shri Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, Kumara Sampradaya, and Madhva Sampradaya. Okay. So from each of these 4, there are 4 lines, and a Guru can be accepted from any of these 4. But at present, as people all know, that only the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya and Shri Sampradaya is prominent. Okay, Shri Sampradaya, that too, it's very predominant in South India. But the Madhva Sampradaya is predominant in Karnataka area and all over the world. At present, I'm talking. Okay, so This is the mercy of Vishwamitra Muni, and that's what Rama says, that it is by your mercy that it happened. So the Guru became very happy. And then after the entire celebrations, Rama and Lakshmana, they rested in the ashrama for the night. And in the morning, they woke up, they freshened up, they performed their morning sadhana. And again, immediately they presented themselves very enthusiastically in front of their Guru Maharaj. And they said, my dear Guru Maharaj, here are your attendants and servants. What order do you have that you want us to be carried out? Please give us the order. One moment. All right. So now, okay. I'm thinking we just have a few minutes, 10 minutes. Okay. Let's see if I can complete this. So, Vishwamitra Muni, he said, my dear boys, see, I have come here for performing this yajna only. So, this ashrama, Vishwamitra Muni does not live in this Vamana Dev's ashram. He just came here to perform the yajna. Now, as this is completed, I'll be returning to Himalayas. But on the way, I wanted to go to Mithila city. Mithila city. There, Janaka Maharaj is performing a yajna. And we all sages, we wanted to go there next. It will be good if you could come with us. And because Rama was in as a Kshatriya, he was there. So to attract the mindset of Kshatriya, Vishwamitra Muni said that there is a Shiva Dhanush. Dhanush is bow. There was a bow of Lord Shiva. So many great kings and demigods, they tried to tie the string for that bow from one end to another, but they were unable to succeed. Na asya deva na gandharva na asura na charakshasa kartum aropanam shakta na kathanchana manusha. If such great people couldn't accomplish tying this bowstring from one end to another, I don't think so. It would be possible for normal human beings. So when he said like that, this created an interest in Lord Sri Ram. So Rama said, my dear Guru Maharaj, let's go to Mithila city. I'll follow you. I wanted to see that bow. Okay, but now I want to give you the background of that bow. Now, this is not from Valmiki Ramayana. This is from the other Ramayana and Puranas. Okay, and I'm going to cover Sita Devi's appearance also in this. So some thousands and thousands of years ago, previous to Lord Ramachandra's appearance, both Vaishnava saints and Shaiva saints, Vaishnavas and Shaivites, they were arguing on the topic, who is great, Vishnu or Shiva. So they called Vishwakarma and they asked him to make two identical bows. And after he made the sages, they gave each one bow to one to Vishnu and the other one to Shiva, and asked them, now can you fight? We want to see who will win. So Lord Shiva, he wants to establish the supremacy of Narayana. Narayano Asid. And obviously in front of Narayana Shakti, Lord Shiva could not fight. So Shiva ran, and behind him Narayana Astra was chasing him. And Shiva knows that once he pays the obeisances in front of that bow, once he pays the dandavats and surrenders to Narayana, this weapon will be withdrawn. But since he wanted to establish the supremacy of Lord Narayana, what he did, he let Narayana Astra chase him. Now Lord Shiva, he ran to all the ashramas where the sages were thinking that Shiva was great. And in all those ashramas, they saw Narayana Astra was chasing Shiva and Shiva is running. Then they got the clarity that Narayana is the supreme. Once that visit to all the ashramas were over, Shiva, he dropped his bow, he paid obeisances to Narayanastra, and immediately that Narayanastra stopped chasing and it went back to Narayana. Now, that bow, it fell down in Mithila city. When he dropped it, it fell down in the Mithila city. At that time, the king was Janaka Maharaj, and he inquired, whose bow is this? And the sages said that this bow, it belongs to Lord Shiva. And immediately Janaka Maharaj, he thought that it should be very nicely preserved and it should be worshipped daily. So he asked some of his great warriors to pick it and then place it in his puja room. But they couldn't move it. So he arranged for 300 most powerful and strong men of his kingdom to bring that bow into his palace. These 300 men, with extreme difficulty, they were moving the bow inch by inch. With one push, it would move 1 inch, like that. Only 1 inch. And like that, they brought it to the palace. And the moment it came into the palace, they all fell down with exhaustion. And Janak Maharaj, every day he used to worship the bow. And meanwhile, once Janak Maharaj, he wanted to perform a yajna to get children. And as I mentioned before, whenever a yajna is performed, it is a huge place. So someone has to plow the land. So normally the king plows the land. So as he took a plow and started plowing the land, suddenly something got struck to the plow, and it stopped the movement of that plow. So after digging the mud, they found a big box. When they opened, there was a lotus flower with 1,000 petals, and in the middle of the flower there was a baby girl. Janaka Maharaj was extremely pleased and very happy to find that baby. She was none other than Sita Devi. Sita Maiya ki jai. So, since the baby appeared there for Janak Maharaj's plowing, he considered her to be his own daughter. So he brought her to the palace and started raising her. And Janaka Maharaj, he named her as Sita. Sita means plow. Okay. And one day, as she was growing up, she was playing with her friends, and they wanted to pluck some fruits from a very tall tree. So they tried many ways to hit the fruit with a stone, with some other object, some sticks. But it was not, because the fruits were a little taller. They tried using long stick, but they couldn't pluck. So Sita Maya was thinking how to get this fruit. And her friends told, oh, we know that there is one very long stick. Your father, he every day worships that stick. And it is kept in that room, such and such room of the palace. So why don't you go there and you can try, bring that and we can try with that. So Sita Maya, she immediately goes back to that place. She just lifts the bow with one finger and just dancing and jumping in a very playful mood. She brings it to the garden, then uses that Shivadhanas to pluck the fruits and flowers. And that was so long, and immediately, it was very tall actually. So immediately she could collect many fruits with it, and then other flowers. Because they all thought, all the friends, this is a one-time opportunity, we would not get every time. So all the friends, they wanted to utilize this opportunity to their best. So whatever unfulfilled desire they had, whether to eat fruit, to smell flowers from tall trees, because not every time you'll get this tall, long stick, right, bow. So wherever they had desire, where the fruits and flowers were at top of a tree where they couldn't reach, they were asking Sita, let's go to that tree. Let's pluck some flowers and fruits from that. We want to smell them and eat them. So in a very jolly mood, jumping and dancing and holding the bow with her hand, she was plucking so many fruits and flowers. Now, some palace guards, security guards, they saw it and they were astonished. They went running to Janak Maharaj and told him with very frightened voice that Sita Devi, shivering voice exactly, that Sita Devi, she took that bow and she's playing with it as if it's an ordinary stick. And she's using it to pluck fruits and flowers. Janak Maharaj didn't believe it. He said, you all must be very crazy. It is a Shiva Dhanus. It is so heavy that 300 most powerful men were unable to handle it. They were able to only move it inch by inch. Now you're saying my 6-year-old Sita Devi is playing with it as an ordinary stick? It's impossible. You must be all mad and talking crazy things. So, meanwhile, as they were coming, their boss was also there. So now the boss went and checked. He also came and told the same thing. Janak Maharaj saying, have you all been hallucinated or something? You all got hypnotized? Why are you seeing all these illusory things and telling me false stories? And meanwhile, the ministers also went and saw. They were also shocked. They came running to Janak Maharaj, and still the king couldn't believe completely. But he thought that even if they could all get hallucinated or hypnotized, how come everyone is coming back with the panic and telling the same story? It could be different stories. So he thought, okay, let me go and check. So he went to the garden and he saw the scene and he was spellbound by it. He was in a shock. He saw Sita Devi was rotating that bow on the index finger. Just like how some women rotate a keychain in their finger. Like she was rotating the bow with her finger. And Sita Maya, she saw her father and she came running to her father and said, oh, my dear father, we just want to pluck some fruits and flowers. So I just took this bow. Don't worry, I'll keep it back. And then again, Sita Devi jumping and dancing, holding that bow. She placed it back in the room and then again came to the park and continued playing with her friends in the garden. Janaka Maharaj couldn't even move. And then he was spellbound. He was astonished. Amazed. So he actually was about to faint looking at that scene. Now his worry started. What is that worry? She is just 6 years old girl and she has so much power. Now who is eligible to marry her? How can I find such a great person? So he called for his priests and asked to check the astrological charts and horoscope for Sita Devi. They all said that this must be Lakshmi Devi herself. Now Janaka Maharaj, he felt even more tensed. If she is Lakshmi Devi, how will I find Narayana now? Where will I find? He knows when Lakshmi Devi has appeared, obviously Narayana must also have appeared somewhere. But now how to find him? Then the priests and sages, they said, don't worry, you arrange for a Swayamvara. Swayamvara is a practice in which the Kshatriya girl, when she comes to a marriageable age, she chooses her husband from a group of eligible kings or princes who come there. Normally, there will be some competition and it is generally decided whoever wins the competition can marry her. So the sages said when Swayamvara is arranged, when it is announced, automatically Narayana, Vishnu himself will come here and take her hand. We don't have to specifically work hard or take the burden to find where he has incarnated. That will be great burden. We can't do that. Now they will discuss now what will be the competition. The competition is whoever can lift the bow and tie the bowstring from one side of the bow to the other side of the Shivadhanus, he will be eligible to marry Sita Devi. Okay, so this was arranged, and all this Vishwamitra Muni, he did not say that the Swayamvara of Sita Devi, Sita Maya is declared. He said Janak Maharaj is performing some yajna, and because he's performing, we are all going there to see. Because they are all sages and saints, they will go wherever that yajnas are being performed. And Janaka Maharaj is one of the 12 authorities. He is a great authority. Mahajanas. He is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So Vishwamitra Muni said, you are going there. Because if he says that there is a wedding function, then Rama can say that it is not your duty to see my bride or whom I have to marry. It is a duty of my parents. Okay. So he might say that. But actually, as per Vaishnavas, only when the spiritual master gives the order that you can marry, only then he gets the graduation ceremony that is done, and then he will be married. But normally it is the parents who would see the girl and arrange. So that's why Vishwamitra Muni did not disclose that we are going for that. Instead, he said, we are going for a yajna. Okay. All right. I'll stop here. Any questions?